Okay, so I just thought of this song.
What
for the
song?
show. It's a theme song. Listen.
Right now?
Yeah, go.
Kurt has kids and an SUV.
Joey scans Reddit obsessively.
But we share music and a chromosome. It's a romance built to last and last. Dudes of future past. Dudes of future past. Kurt and Joey's podcast. Dudes of future past.
Are we taking phone calls?
No, we don't need these.
Then I'm not
all
using
right, let's
these.
all right, let's not use
Yeah,
it.
your problem.
Jimmy Pardo, everybody, is here in the studio.
That's
Let's
right.
hear it for him.
Now
Jimmy
I gotta turn
Pardo's
these
here.
way down because I can hear it through here.
Okay,
Yeah.
now turn all of that off.
I just missed
There we go.
completely you introducing me because I'm a
Okay, let's do it again.
diva with headphones.
He was he's a podcasting pioneer
no,
of Never Enough.
The Christopher Columbus of podcast.
thank you.
Jimmy Pardo, I've been a big fan for many years. Friend, loose term.
Very loose, but
very
accurate.
loose. Accurate. We
Acquaintances.
know each other. That's the thing. I feel horrible. We've been with the same management team for 50.
I've been with
You've been
Bruce
them, Bruce, for a long time.
22 years.
22
Wow.
years. How many
21,
times
I'm
have
sorry,
you
I apologize. Going on
reconsidered?
22.
How many times have you reconsidered? No, I love
We're
Bruce.
being recorded.
We're being recorded.
We're
That's
also
right.
in his office, so.
No, I love Bruce. That's the thing. If I'm being candid, look. Everybody in this town is crazy. If you're a performer, you're a little bit nuts about it because you're a little selfish. You want somebody to look at you and help you out, and like I've got something. I know you've got a bunch of other people that you take care of, Bruce, but help me, or I want my thing done. But he does an amazing job of spreading it around compared to most. And I've been with agents who I don't get hear from for months.
You don't
At all.
And even when you go to visit them, you have to check in with a receptionist, and then you have to be approved to go up and talk to your own
Right.
representation. It's like,
Yeah.
you work for me.
Yeah,
I pay
Right?
you
You're making
money.
me go through airport-style security to
yeah.
just check in with you that, hey, are any auditions on the horizon?
Yeah, anything.
But
Just
here's the sharp juxtaposition of that is that I had an agent that was like not too hands-on, but too like my friend rather than someone that was working for me. And so when I was dropping this person, I was getting my manager, because I couldn't do it, because I couldn't be the one to call him and be like, hey, I'm dropping you.
Pussy.
So I'm sorry, I just can't.
I wouldn't be able to do it either.
I feel like I'm a child calling an adult saying like I'm like it just doesn't fit.
Right.
So I had my adult manager do it.
Smart.
But I got text messages from my agent while she was like, I'm not gonna name names, but they were like, I'm on the phone with your manager right now, learning and like trying to get like while she was on the phone with him, texting me to try and get me to be like,
Change your mind?
yeah. Oh, it was the hardest. It
that's
was like,
the hardest.
It's
The
like ripping
worst.
off a Band-Aid that you kept putting back on and ripping
Yeah,
off
yeah,
and
yeah.
back on and back off. Like the adhesive was getting less strong.
Did you
Imagine.
feel better after when you like the next day? Did you feel like you made the right decision?
Yeah, especially because I like moved into a new place where I'm much happier. But it was like it's a hard thing that I've never had to do.
I haven't done it in 22 years. I've been trying to get out of this life. I can't shake.
You're still
on
being
this.
recorded.
I
We're
invited
still-
to my wedding. I'm doing everything the wrong way.
right? Well, that's the thing. Yeah, that line, obviously, you got to have a little bit of a relationship. I don't know how you would go 22 years and not be friends and not be,
I think
and
that's
it's,
what it turns into friends, and then
Yeah.
and
you
it's,
have
it's
your
a
ups
tough
and
thing with
downs.
any friend. You have what's the last argument you got in with a friend?
With-
like tough, like any friend that you've gotten. Like,
well, I
like
had the horrible, Never Not Funny season 1 with Mike.
oh,
Schmidt
when you
was
threw
my
the microphone.
co-host.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you had that too.
That was season 2. or
That was
3.
season 2.
Yeah, Mike was, Mike was my co-host and one of the funniest guys in the world, and I
Yeah.
mean that sincerely.
He is.
And he's got his own podcast now, The 40-Year-Old Boy, and it's brilliant.
We don't want
great.
to publicize that.
And no, I'm happy
no,
to do
no,
it.
he's good.
But he and I were just growing in different directions, and so after I think it was 59 episodes of Never Not Funny, we got in a big fight, and I had to basically fire a guy
Right.
from a free podcast. So that's 9 years ago.
Yeah, and you made up.
We have since made up, and
Since
and
made
it's
up,
all
and it
very,
was
very
kind of
well.
both. And you
Kinda
both
like-
had that, since he's got his podcast, I'm sure it's like, hey, no big deal now,
Right.
right? I've had that with a friend of mine. I was trying to get Talk Fight, this stage show, up and running, and I was workshopping it, and I didn't know quite what I wanted to do. I kind of wanted to have a co-host, or not a co-host, like a side guy. Who's the announcer, the boxing guy?
Michael Buffer?
Not the Michael Buffer, but the commentator. He's like a side older
Jim
dude.
Lampley.
Something like that. Yeah, I wanted him, like
Sounds
kind of be
right.
like throwing in, because it was Talk Fight. It was a talk show, but we wanted people to argue, and the idea was like, I wanted this guy, look at him with the uppercut there, and throwing in an insult, and adding, whatever, and having like, and my buddy had this good character I thought would be fitting, and I asked him to do it, and in two live shows that we did, everybody like, love the show, hate that guy, and it was kind of like, yeah, I'm not liking it either, and it was kind of one of those things where I had to go, I'm not paying him. And I know he was going through a tough time, and he needed like stage time, and he was like so happy, dude. I think I love it. And he was coming to me with other ideas about what to do. And God love him. I do love him, and it was tough. I'm like, hey man, it's just not really.
It didn't gel.
It's not the vision. It didn't gel.
work.
Yeah.
And it was tough to be like, I'm not paying you. You did it. You did me a solid by coming up and trying it. And now what do I do? A muffin basket? Do you do a muffin? Do you do a gift
Box of
basket? What do you do?
cupcakes?
What's an apology thing? What do you send as like? Do you do anything?
Oh,
Do you
I
a
avoid
card?
that person the rest of my life.
Yeah,
I
that's it.
don't care.
Okay.
That's the best way to do
Yeah,
it.
right.
That's
Yeah,
the way to
that's
do
it.
it. I'm not gonna.
That's the hardest part is that when I fire Kurt, he's gonna still have to do all of the like.
Yeah, I'm
garage
gonna still have
band
to
and
be and
levels.
carry all this stuff.
By the way, you're gonna fire him. This is you think you're in the lead of the show?
It will be.
Oh
Eventually.
yeah, eventually.
We're gonna
It's
make that.
kinda
It's gonna
there.
be it's gonna be the dudes of future past. Future comes first.
Yeah,
and
and
he'll
then
just
the
have
past
his
will be
dudes
the
of
But then the past just gets excused.
Yeah,
Right.
I see.
You
All right,
know,
it's your
it's
show.
how the world works.
No, it's
I'm gonna
not
have a
really
Tom-
his show. Don't let him convince
I'm
you.
It
gonna have
really sounds like it is.
No,
Based on
it's
what's
kind
been
of
happening here so far.
skewing that way already, isn't it?
I mean,
I'm
he
gonna
gave
have
me
to
the intro.
Yeah.
He read from the piece of paper.
No,
he
I
went through
did.
his
I
headshots.
did. No, look.
I did. Yeah.
That was all me.
This is my manager's office.
Right? I mean,
son of a bitch,
Come
guys.
on.
That's the way I see it.
Gaslighting me?
You got the you got the Coke Zeros, Kurt.
Am I really here? I feel like I'm an episode of Mr. Robot for all fucking sake.
Wow.
Christian Slater comes in and we
Mucks
can
it
swear.
up.
Yeah. Oh, God. Have you seen it? Have you
I have
ever
not
Mr.
watched
Robot?
one
Yeah.
Oh,
second
fuck
of
Me
it.
neither,
I
me
fucked it
neither.
all up then.
I know nothing.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, I'm never going to watch it.
Oh, you're never going to watch it?
no.
Oh,
not-
I'll watch it. So back. So
All right.
we'll
You
watch
don't
it,
know
watch
anything.
it.
You don't know. I haven't given away
I'm
anything.
told you don't need to watch it.
Okay.
Really?
Well, Jimmy
Oh, you
says
like
no.
it.
I like the first season. I haven't seen second season at all.
You know what?
Everybody tells me second season falls off a cliff.
Like a cliff.
Yeah.
Yeah, not even like, hey, it got a little bit worse. It was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I always think that about like because stand-up specials are the same way because you spend like 15 years perfecting and then you get to an hour and it's just all this material you've been working on for so long and then you do a stand-up special and people are like it's great. Let's do another one next year. And then it's always like you can't just like that was the same with Mr. Robot. I mean they created this show.
That was
They
one
had-
guy
yeah.
writing that thing.
One guy wrote had the whole arc of the season 1 and then when they want to do a season 2 you're like,
That
shit.
should have been enough. Should have been like if I
Yeah.
got a whole season writing a whole show by myself. I'm like, good, I'm done.
Yeah.
I
Cancel
don't know.
me.
I don't know if I can
done.
come back.
I'm a winner. I've done it. I've
Yep.
succeeded
Yeah,
in this
yeah.
crap business. Let's go.
Speaking of being a winner, Jimmy Pardo.
Oh,
was a winner.
boy. Nice
Speaking of
segue.
stand-up, that was a very good segue. I learned from the best. You've been doing your podcast for what, 10 years now?
It's 10 years.
Holy
March
cow.
of 2006.
That's half my life.
Yes, it is.
I was 10 years old when you first started.
And you know what's interesting? We had some when we first started. For reasons I don't understand, we had like some 13-year-olds who were listening
Really?
to us, and now they come to the live shows and they go, I've been listening to you almost my entire life.
Oh,
Wow.
not
And
13-year-olds
they're
on the
23.
show.
What's
Oh,
that?
no, not
13-year-olds
guests.
on the
It's-
show.
No,
But
they
like
would listen.
Oh,
They're
okay,
listeners.
okay.
I'm not doing I'm not making balloon animals.
I was
I'm not
gonna
a
say.
food show.
Oh, come on.
They would listen at home, which I found fascinating.
That is fascinating.
Now,
Especially,
I'm sorry.
Go on. No, because like I grew up in that era. Like I was the stand-up and stuff that I was watching at that time that like got me into it was like I was watching like College Humor Live and like Weird and Live
Right.
at Gotham. Like instead of watching those like HBO specials or Showtime specials that were released, I was watching like these people that are now like Hannibal Buress is working a lot, TJ Miller's working all the time, Pete Holmes, all these people that I was like watching
Right.
back then as a kid, and like that's where my comedy influences came
So
from.
that's how the young people, because like the Pete Holmeses who are brilliantly funny and
Yeah.
Hannibal, it's like I always was curious because they weren't part of the LA scene, they were part of the New York scene.
Yeah.
But I wondered how young people discovered them and how they built that following.
Yeah.
You just explained it. The college, I forgot about College Humor.
Yeah, there was a lot of outlets. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what I want to talk to you about. Is like starting stand up I started when I was 13, so that's like a weird starting time.
You're
but
like Mark Price or Sam Levine.
Sam Levine
Sam
started-
Levine, we talked about that.
12
too.
years
If you
old?
would have let me get a word in, I
No.
would have talked more about
Sounds
it.
like Sam.
But
No, yeah.
I
I think so.
but
Sam's
I
a great guy.
love. I don't know. I love that, like how it changed. You know, like what I could pull from, and like I found out how to do it because I sent Pete Holmes a message on Facebook. Like I found him on Facebook and I sent him a message, and then he like sent me a message back on find open mics and stuff, and like that is something that the older generations didn't have unless you wanted to send.
Well,
like,
no, we had to look for it, and we had to
Yeah.
do the legwork, which you lazy millennials
Yeah.
don't
They
seem
don't
to
have
want
to
to
got
do.
nothing.
I could write a message and get all the answers.
Yep.
Thumbs down, brother.
Boom.
Do
You
the
don't like it.
footwork. Get in the trenches.
No, see, I didn't have to do any of that. The trenches for me was sifting through all the fake Pete Holmes accounts, which there probably weren't any.
Now you don't tour as much now,
About
right?
once a month I go
Once a
out.
month. So,
Yeah.
but do you still see it? Is there evidence of that? Is there evidence of lazy comics up there now, like filling up the stages?
I don't think they're
because
lazy on stage. I think, but there's a lot of they want the shortcut.
Yeah.
They
Right.
want to get right to fame. They
Yeah.
don't want to. I mean, there was always, even when I started, there was always the open micer that thought he should be emceeing, the emceeing that thought he should be featuring, the feature that thought he should be headliner, and the headliner that thought he should be famous.
Right.
But now it's almost like they just want to go from open mic to famous. They don't
Yeah.
want to deal with the MC feature headliner
Yeah.
spot. They
Yeah.
just want to be doing theaters.
Well, it's frustrating too to like going up and doing stand up and doing a 10-minute set that you've worked on for so long, or even going and doing like a showcase for a late night show is 5 minutes that you have crafted and you've worked so hard on, and you have 90 people in the audience, one of which you're trying to impress. And then that's the show that you work so hard for. And then you see people that aren't working very hard sit in front of a webcam on their computer, make a video, people think it's hilarious, and it gets millions of views, and they're instantly famous. And so I think
infuriating.
yeah, having that, and then also having the stand-up where the world hasn't really changed in stand-up. You still work for years and years before you move up the chain. I think that's where the frustration comes from. Is that other people are having it so easy.
I'll agree with that. I'm not gonna
I
fight
can
you.
also, but we all feel better about ourselves in knowing that that's just a hollow fame, and they can't
Yeah.
really enjoy it, right?
Is it though? Because
I think
No.
I think it's a quick. I think it's a bottle rocket. I think
Yeah.
it goes up and then it comes
it's
down
done,
really
right?
fast, and they're done.
I would
done.
I would love to say that,
Yeah.
but like I just think that there are so many. The people that are watching them on YouTube are kids, are like 13, whatever kids, like I was when I was watching Who Influenced Me. But they're growing up with them. Like if you watch these people, it's not like they're doing kid shows on YouTube. They're talking as an adult with adult language, talking about their day, and these kids just eat it up. And so I don't know if there's going to be
You think
that.
you're going to grow with it?
But I think,
I
yeah,
don't
that's what I think.
know.
I think the attention span goes. I mean, I have a 10-year-old kid. You have a 9-year-old
9-year-old,
son.
yeah.
I mean,
She watched
what they
Automatic?
liked a year ago, they don't like now. Even me. I mean, there's different bands that I was like, oh, I was all obsessed with this band, and then I'm like, move on, and
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but
and
they,
especially like you say, a 9 or a 10-year-old. It's
they're boom.
Yeah.
I was into Minecraft last week, and now I'm into this thing. Although my son's sticking with that Minecraft a little longer than I'd hoped. Is it?
Yeah.
Do you let your son do it?
I don't exactly know if he was playing some game today on the
on the
iPad.
video box.
The video
Yeah,
box.
I'm not that old of a Joey. I still call myself Jimmy, Joey.
Joey,
Yeah, I
Jimmy.
still go by Joey.
So, but but then he revisits things like there's that Hal Sparks.
What was that?
Lab Rats?
Oh, yeah,
Lab
Lab
Rats.
Rats, yeah.
And then there's the other one with our buddy Henry Dittman.
100 Ways to whatever.
No,
Is that Henry?
The superhero thing.
Oh, Harvey Danger?
Harvey Danger.
Henry Danger?
Henry. Oh,
Henry
that's,
Danger.
no, that's Cooper. Cooper Barnes.
Oh, Cooper Barnes. My
Cooper
apologies
Barnes.
to our friend Henry.
Henry was on a different Nickelodeon show.
Well, I'm sure Oliver watched that as well, but like he'll watch.
Didn't watch
them.
our show though. Didn't watch Liv and Manny.
Oh, your
Found
kids
that
are
out.
Oh
watching-
no!
No,
In fact,
hated
went out
that
of his
shit.
way.
Said no
Wow.
way. Yeah, is that the one with Kurt Long and Joey Brad?
Specifically by
No
name.
way.
Which I was
Pick this out.
fascinated
This
by.
is
Oh,
very odd.
wow.
Because usually it's
And
all
I haven't
character
met
names.
him. Yeah.
Yeah,
He said,
yeah.
no. The actor Kurt Long. He plays that guy. It's annoying.
He goes, Dad, the guy from the
Insufferable.
1,000 commercials. That guy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's fine in 30-second
30-second bites. That's what I pretty much resigned
By the
myself
way, that
to.
is something my son would say. Like, he would actually say the sentence, he's fine in 30-second bites. And then my wife and I were looking at each other like, what have we raised?
Yeah,
He's
how
like,
did he learn that? Where did
he's
he learn
so smart.
bites?
going to a big show tonight.
I am going to a show. Are you going to be there?
My wife and I wanted to go, but we sadly cannot. But I've seen them 1,000 times.
Yeah,
I'm
I-
talking about
I wanna
Hall &
see 'em
Oates.
so
Yeah,
bad,
we're going to Hall & Oates.
He was if his wife wasn't going to come, I was going to go with him.
I was going to take him. Terrace box seats right down center.
you're
we're
close,
we're
baby.
close.
I'm going to go
We're
give your
close.
wife the flu.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Just
then
kidding,
I'm
yeah.
for the
Just
business.
cut her brakes. Cut her brakes. Oh.
Oh, what happened? I just want to
You
go to a
know?
concert.
I'm kind of not as upset about all this, but as I should be.
I just can't wait till
M-E-T-H-O-T-O-F-L-O-P.
It's the method of modern love.
No, it's not. That's the method of love.
Yeah, right?
Right, you didn't spell modern.
Cuts it. Yeah, he didn't spell
Yeah.
modern. Don't want to do it.
that's like
Favorite.
Go ahead.
I love that you were a big concert goer because I'm a huge live music.
You are too, I
fanatic
know.
myself.
And kind of the same.
A lot of the same genre. I know we got a couple that I went to a Guns N' Roses show. I'm pretty sure you would do.
I
without.
saw Guns N' Roses when it wasn't the real guy at the
Like
Universal
before?
Amphitheater.
Real guy?
Oh,
With it was Axl and then maybe Buckethead
Steve,
was on.
yeah.
No,
Oh, that
Slipfoot.
one.
What's
Oh.
the other? Bumblefoot was on guitar.
Oh, not
Bumblefoot.
Slash?
Not
No,
Buckethead.
this was.
Huh.
This is post Guns N' Roses.
See, I saw Guns N' Roses at Coachella, and it was after Axl Rose broke his ankle and was in.
He was in the Throne.
The Throne.
yeah, the Dave Grohl throne.
And I got in trouble. I didn't get in trouble, but I really wanted to get in trouble because I tweeted that it looked like Slash was playing guitar while his aunt sat in a chair and sang.
That's funny.
But it literally was the Slash show. It was
Yeah.
Slash back and forth on this stage for 3 hours.
While a guy
killing
sits
it.
and.
While a guy just goes, "Welcome to the jungle,"
Right.
in a chair.
But at least they didn't cancel.
Yeah, right.
I
know?
mean, that would have been the other way
And
to
they
go.
weren't too late. Like everybody expected them to be hours late, but they were.
No,
They
they
weren't. Apparently, he was very professional on this tour.
Super prompt.
You went to where? Dodger Stadium.
Dodger Stadium, 8 o'clock or 8:10. Yeah, they came out. Boom, played a great show, and I mean, you could sort of tell that they don't like each other. They don't like Axl.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a lot of camaraderie. I mean, like Duff just stood there, like playing his bass, and like didn't move around a lot, and Slash did his things, and Axl did, every, and this guy over here, and then this here's, ladies and gentlemen, you all know him, Slash, and then it was,
Right.
and it walked away, and it was sort of, yeah. But it was still a great show.
Yeah.
Then I saw Coldplay 2 days later. Did not plan it all like that, but
Too big of a venue, don't you think?
big.
Rose
It's a
Bowl?
big. I mean, they did it up. They try to fill it with lights and lasers, and were you there as well?
No,
Or
I'm not. That's not my
Yeah,
bag.
but it was a fun show. Definitely a fun show with. I mean, I was closer to the confetti cannons than anything, so I was like, I'm like picking it out of my ears and shit on the way home. But it was still great. It was a wonderful show.
like
At
your
least they
comparison.
put something into it.
I like your comparison that Coldplay is like the U2 of today. Because that makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense.
Are they or
They're
they're
U2
of 10 years
Junior.
ago?
Oh,
No, but I
yeah.
think the U2 of today is the U2 10 years ago. Like think about when they put that U2 album on people's iPods without asking.
Which, by the way, is a great album.
it's still a great album. Yeah.
Because
Great
I figured I had to find a way to delete it.
Why?
because
What do you?
I felt like it was an intrusive.
You
way.
felt it was,
You're not gonna
um,
put an album I don't want on my.
See, I didn't think.
I
I didn't think it.
Cares, Joey.
I did. I was like, I got limited gigs.
Is
They
that
had a
it?
better plan.
That's a funny thing because, like, I would think my initial thought would be a millennial would go, "Hey, free stuff, cool."
I would think that too. Good
Yeah,
for you.
Because
Although maybe-
I'm a millennial. Everything is free if I really want it to be.
Yeah, it's true.
especially
You got
music.
your torrents.
Hackers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you rip everything.
I just was talking to a director of this guy that directed this movie that I did that was straight to iTunes. And then apparently, like, the reason I didn't get any back end was because nobody got any back end because the minute it was released on iTunes, everybody just torrented
Right.
it.
There
I'm
is
like,
no
oh.
back end.
Yeah. I really like
We're talking about ass, right?
Right.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
there's
just
a
wanna make
lot of.
sure
Well,
we're
you
not
want to
like-
get that back in.
Yeah.
You get it back in the record store.
Yeah. Oh, boy, oh, boy.
God, so
Oh,
much.
yeah, I think we got some Tiffany back here. Let's take a look together.
You
Let's
guys,
go.
You guys ever go to Atomic Records on Magnolia and just wait in the back room?
Just hoping it was the
Just
old days.
Yeah.
I do go there. I wish they had more cardboard boxes around the store.
Yeah, right?
Oh God.
Guys,
I
let's
w-
expand.
I
Yeah.
went in there once. I
How
went in
many
there once when
cockroaches and
I-
silverfish are running around?
Oh,
in
my
this store?
God.
Right?
I went in
That's
there
all
when
I think of.
was
See,
like,
there's my OCD going
No,
again.
I
I'm
don't
like, I can't even
disagree.
enjoy. I'm like, just there's
too many silverfish?
yeah, that's like all those little bugs that live off of cardboard.
Yeah.
And they just
Oh,
like
That's the glue, right? Isn't that what
it's,
they?
it's something. Maybe it's that. Yeah.
First time I was in, I think I told this story on a podcast before, but I was in Atomic Records and I walked in and the guy goes, "You actually gonna buy something or are you window shopping?"
Oh, gee.
And I was like, "Oh,
Welcome.
yeah. Do you have Jim Croce's I Got a Name?" And he's like, as soon as I said that I was actually looking for something, he's like, "Oh, well, I'll look for it." But
That's
just
a
because
really good
I was-
way because brick and mortar places are doing really well
they're
right
doing
now.
great.
Yeah.
You should
Why-
definitely watch-
right? I know.
He might have yelled at me once too when I went in there. Like, I forget why. Like something.
Looking for Peter Frampton again. We don't have it.
Can I tell you something? I bought a Peter Frampton at Atomic Records.
Yeah. You know what? I was following you.
You.
Oh,
weirdo.
son of a bitch.
I
Well,
Man.
this is a very like in the idea of our podcast. Even though we just basically just do this. We talk, but I mean the idea of like the millennial Gen X. Would you be included? You'd be included. You're a Gen Xer, right?
You're a baby boomer.
Right on the. No. Oh,
I'm
Jimmy's gonna swing at him. Jimmy's gonna swing at him.
My dad's a baby boomer.
Yeah,
right?
no,
know,
you're
man.
Gen X.
I don't
would say
know.
I don't know.
I'm
even
certainly Gen X.
Gen X. So.
But I somehow fought that. I think I.
Right, I think at the beginning too, because I remember when grunge, that was like the start. Like you're a Gen Xer if you're into grunge.
If you're in that, and I so wasn't into that scene. So when they were trying to label me Gen X too, it's like, well, that's not me at all. I'm wearing parachute pants.
Yeah,
That's not the method of
6 years
modern
too
love.
late.
cool.
I'm cool.
I'm a chess king, but in parachute pants.
Thank you very much.
You don't even know what that reference is.
Parachute pants? I know
No,
parachute
Chess
pants.
King. Well, you
Oh,
don't
yeah, I
know.
don't know
Yeah,
what
Chess
that
King. That's long gone before you. Spencer Gifts is still around though.
They've made it.
How the fuck
Yeah.
is Spencer
I
Gifts
don't
still
know.
around?
Spencer Gifts was like the game where me and my friends would go to the mall and we'd be like, all right, if we could spend more than 5 minutes in Spencer Gifts without wanting to run away, you win. Go.
Because we used to go there for hours.
It freaked me
You
out.
look at all the posters. You
Oh
go,
God,
it
Samantha
made me-
Fox
it-
posters were
Samantha
in there.
was on my wall in my bedroom.
I
made
had
me
her
so
too.
uncomfortable.
Oh, the British
I've
buxom
never been more
babe.
uncomfortable other than going into Spencer's Gifts.
Really?
Yeah.
Just because like you could get a coffee mug that has tits on it?
Yeah.
buddy.
And I was
Isn't
like
that
a
great?
kid. I don't know. It just made me
Really?
so uncomfortable. Yeah.
Well, see, back in my day too, and I apologize for having started
No.
any sentence with that.
Oh, Get so offended
the
at
boob
baby
mugs
boomer.
were behind. They were in a separate room.
Oh, yeah, you couldn't
that
get
was
to
the adult section.
Really?
So my day was all Kiss posters and Zeppelin stuff and
Blacklight
whatever,
stuff.
Blacklight.
Remember that? Oh, they're
And
gonna
then
bring
if you
that
want
shit
to
back.
sneak back there and you could
Ooh.
see the
see 'em.
the bumper stickers with the Randy.
Yeah. See, I just had the internet, man. I'm so spoiled. I just had everything at my
Is it
disposal.
spoiled or is it just waste? I was gonna get to this with Jimmy. Is like the idea of collecting things. Like you collect. You say collect vinyl, but you like vinyl. You listen to it. You actually.
I like it, but I used to collect, CD and vinyl of Chicago the band or Kiss
Right.
or Iron Maiden or whatever. And that I speak about this way too much. That joy
course.
is gone. Because what I used to do as a comic on the road is I would you get there the first day, you take your nap, you do your show, then you'd have back in the day when it was Tuesday through Sunday, you had every day to do nothing. So I would just go to every used record store and search for things that I wanted. Phil Seymour albums, old Utopia ones that I couldn't find. And now that joy's gone because, here it is.
click.
Oh, I don't know if I want to spend $7, but I don't have it.
Yeah.
Done. 2 days later, here it is.
Yep.
Like that. So that's a bummer.
Yeah, you have
Even though
it.
it's-
Yeah,
But I mean,
it
it's
was
also
more the chase.
It's
Still-
the chase.
Kind of like getting that tail.
That's right.
But the
all
fact
about
that
the
it's right there
chase.
has got I've called you a baby boomer, and I'm going to say this sentence is going to offend you. My parents called me the other day, and were like, me and your mom had so much fun. Just like I would search a song on YouTube that I like and haven't heard in a while, play it. Then she would search one she hasn't heard in a while, and then we just kept going back and forth and playing this music.
That's
I'm
nice.
like-
Your parents are a blast.
Oh yeah, they're great to hang out with.
How old are your parents? Just out of curiosity.
I think my mom is 62, so she's gonna hate this. No, she's not 62. I'm saying she's born in 62, so she's like 54.
54.
54 in December, so she's 53.
And your dad?
Is 49, 50 maybe.
Pardon?
40.
49, 50.
Yeah, he's
yeah.
like,
Pardon?
he's
Yeah.
like 50-ish. I don't know. I don't really.
Your dad was born in 65 or 66
my
or
dad was born
67?
in. My dad was born in 68.
Pardon?
Are you? Oh wow! Look at this. Ooh.
Yeah.
This is a whole rift. Is this causing a rift?
I'm upset with your parents.
Yeah.
Oh, well, sorry, man. I couldn't do anything
Wow.
about
So
it.
your mom's older than your father, is what I
Yeah.
gathered by that math.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. Thank you, Kurt, for explaining that.
Well, a small
Yeah,
increment.
a little bit. I got to be part of this conversation in some
I
way.
don't know where they're at.
I noticed.
I just know it's uncomfortable in here. It's like, hey, hotter all of a sudden.
It is warm in this
It
room.
got
My
warm in
lower
here,
back is
Bruce.
sweaty.
What can
I
we
should
get?
have told them when I was coming out that they should have been born later.
Yeah.
I'll be sure to make sure I
Hold
do that
off.
next time.
Yeah, that's I don't think make an awful segue back to collecting. But is that like is that worth it anymore to collect anything like for kids, for millennials?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I collected things, but like I just got obsessive.
Yeah.
Like my whole thing was like I'd find an action figure. I was like, oh, this Batman action figure is the coolest thing in the world. But then I would Google it and I'd be like, oh shit, this Superman action figure is also the coolest thing in the world. And then I would just accumulate that way. But I never got it to be like, I want to have a complete set of something. I was just doing it because I was like, oh, this is cool. This is cool too.
Yeah, I used to. I remember when I made the mistake of telling people I love The Simpsons, and when The Simpsons, they had these figurines that came out that if you put them on a little plaything, it talked. or said something. They had a little chip on the foot, and you put it down or something. Like, oh, so I got a couple of those. Hey, to Homer, and you put them. Hey, Homer says this thing. So great. And then I told a couple friends, and then all of a sudden it became like Christmas one year was only Simpson stuff, which I love and I appreciate. I'm like, oh, the Halloween ones.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I'm like, but I didn't get to collect any of that, and I didn't do any part of it. And I was like, oh, great. But I have this giant box of Simpsons things now that I'm like, and I was like, I got to get a shelf for this. I got to get like a glass cases. And now which ones do I unbox? Which one do I not unbox? I should probably be near the microphone.
Yeah. You should also put that in a storage unit and then have it just expire and then wait for the episode of Storage Wars to come out where they're like, what's in the box? And they're like, just Simpson stuff.
Yeah, and then they're all go,
Never mind.
It's all waste.
And then Matt Groening's like, $30,000.
I'll buy it all. Now, you had that with Kojak. You were on your Kojak
I
kick.
did go through a Kojak phase.
And then everybody was sending you Kojak.
We got a bunch of Kojak stuff that I now know. And I appreciate the fans sending it, but I don't know what to do with it because I'm past it. You know,
Kojak, remind me.
Kojak was a cop show from the 70s.
Okay.
Starring Telly Savalas.
It was a bald guy, right?
Bald guy.
Yeah.
But it holds up. It's great.
Yeah?
It's great.
Is it on Netflix?
I can't answer that.
All right.
Hulu?
Might be Hulu.
Amazon?
But I had it on. It was on MeTV.
Oh.
And then I ended up buying all the DVDs so that I could watch it in order.
Yeah.
And then I got through that. And then
Yeah.
now it's
I did that with Frasier when I was a kid. I bought all the seasons of Frasier, and then I just watched Frasier.
how.
Like a 10-year-old.
Did you enjoy that as a kid?
I loved it.
You
I
did?
put it because now it's on Netflix. I turn it on like when I'm just like eating lunch. I giggle like nobody's business.
Really?
I love it.
Good
just
for you.
something about it, man. It just really tickles my funny bone.
How do you like tossed salads and scrambled eggs?
Oh, I don't know what to do with them.
Thank you for pulling that out of your ass. That was great. That was
I was like trying to think of the next line. Fuck it, I'll go to the line before it.
So,
Still great.
knowing this, the way the business is, Jimmy, would you, and you have a very talented son, you've talked about Oliver a bunch, would you ever allow him to be in this industry?
I don't think I'm going to have a choice. I don't want him to be at all.
Yeah.
But he is, my wife is a comedy writer, and I'm me. So he's a child of two clowns. So he's funny, and he's creative, and he's charming. I don't know how he won't be. Like,
Right.
but we're not bringing him to, he came to an audition with me once, and
Okay.
the casting director was like, "Who's that child? You got to get him into commercials. You guys will make a fortune." And it was like, because he was being funny, and and it was like, we got in the car, and we were like, "Should we?" No, done.
Yeah.
That was it. And then
Because one of you is going to have to drive him to all those things.
no interest in that.
And
B, like, even when we went and we had a family photo done once, and like the photographer, granted it's at a Pennies or whatever, so it's not but even the way there was like, Oliver, you got to move your leg, and it was like, I don't want him to be on the set and have some director who has no patience telling my kid he's not looking the right way. I mean, you've been doing this since you were, 4. I don't know if that's true.
Oh no, not 4.
But
13.
I was stripping at 4.
that boy, right? Well, the family's got to make money.
Bag
You go
of
down to
PG.
Tijuana.
You gotta get free Subway somehow.
Subway sandwiches?
Mm-hmm.
Eat fresh, baby.
Oh yeah,
Your
he sure did.
parents always cared about health.
Oh yeah.
Look how fresh that kid is. Makes me want a sandwich.
Awful.
What?
Pedophilia
Look
is
at-
never
oh,
funny.
it's
Never.
never funny.
I brought it up.
That's true. You
it's 'cause
did.
You're a
The
child
youngest
and you're
guy.
edgy. Everybody's edgy with the kids today. Other tubes of you. I don't. But if he said to me tomorrow, here's the truth. If he said tomorrow, "Hey, you guys, I've been thinking about it. I think I would like to start doing commercials or doing that," we would probably entertain it because it's like now he's showing an interest in it. But luckily, he's not yet. He just likes doing his own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
thank
one thing
goodness.
that I was so thankful for is that my dad was so supportive when I wanted to do it, because my dad was raised Jehovah's Witness, and so he didn't get supported in anything he wanted to do.
Goodness.
And not anymore, obviously. I mean, you've listened to me talk for X amount of time, so not a Jehovah's Witness. But when I wanted to do it, like, I wanted to play hockey, and then he drove me to all my hockey games. I was like thinking about it. Like, I did stand up every night for years, and he drove me to all these places. Like, when I was a kid, it didn't seem like that much. I want to do the stand up, so I can't drive, so my dad will drive me. But like now, thinking back, like,
It's like he really,
like if a
really
kid,
supported you. And
Yeah.
oh my God, like I can't.
And both of us
I am-
being fathers, we're waiting for you to say thank you.
yeah, not to you guys.
No, no.
you've
Not
thanked
yet.
him. You've
Thank
said
you.
that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
now as a
Oh my
20-year-old,
God.
you've said, "Hey, Dad, I appreciate everything you've done for me."
Yeah. And I like leave flowers on his headstone.
Oh.
He's not dead. No, he's still alive. I just bought him a
Why
headstone.
would you do that in advance? Well, you get the
Yeah,
money
it's
now.
nice.
That
Yeah, I
makes
got the
Well,
sense.
money
now
now.
he's got the money, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I figured.
Before that, he blows it all on coke and
Yeah.
strippers.
Right?
Um,
Throw into the
Around the
Viper
corner.
room.
but we're in that position where we're in the industry, but we also have kids. My son.
What would you do?
See, that's where I'm in a tough situation. I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast or I just told you personally. My son had no interest. And a couple times he said, I want to go to an audition with you. And I took him to an audition. They were like, hey, we need guys with their sons. And I asked him. And I was very, clear to him. Like, listen, this is Daddy's work. So if you don't want to do it, don't do it. That's fine. I don't want you to feel like you're obliged at all. But they're asking for real fathers and sons for this commercial. So if you want to go with Daddy, we'll do it work. And if we get it, we get some money, we put it away, we buy something nice or whatever. But you don't have to. Say, no, I want to do it. So we go to the audition.
Okay.
They're great, blah, blah, blah. Next thing, get a call back. I don't want to go.
Oh, no.
Well, now I'm like in that position as a father, like, now, hey, I told you before, you didn't have to do it if you didn't want to do it then. But once we committed, now we're committed, and now it's Daddy's work, and they're calling us back. That means they like us, and it would kind of be bad for us to not at least go to the callback. But also, I'm stuck in that position of like, do I push my son into something and make him hate what I do or whatever it is? Like, hate me, all this kind of stuff. So I'm like, oh, crap. So my wife's like, no, you tell him as a dad, he made a commitment. You follow through on your commitment. And after that, you don't have to do it again. I'm like, right, okay, fine. So we do it, and we didn't book it. It was fine.
Did he sandbag you?
He kind of sandbagged
Dude,
me.
seriously.
Yeah. Like, it was for Pennzoil. He was throwing it on the ground. He's like, this is killing the environment.
Oh,
like,
boy.
Fuck you. Yeah.
He's a sharp kid.
Yeah. Lit it on fire.
But do you think he didn't give his all the second
No,
time?
I think he was okay. In fact, the director was really great with him, and he made him, he was smiling, and he was actually, I got to give my son props. He was like a pro. He came in, like, held it up, smiled, looked at me, looked at our fake car engine that we were pouring oil into and doing the whole thing. And of course, I see the commercial when it got booked. Like, it was two guys who didn't look like a kid and the father didn't look anything like each other. One was like a Swedish guy, and one looked like he was from Albania. Like, it was just...
So they had a cut and paste.
They were not father-son? Not father and son.
But they stuck to European, which is
They did stick to European.
Sure,
I don't even know if Albania is the right one. But, yeah, it was really bad. But now recently... And since then, he said, yeah, I'm not interested. So I haven't pushed it. My daughter kind of into it, but she's 8, so I'm still waiting. But then recently, my son said, you know what, I kind of want to try the commercial thing again. I kind of think I want to do it. And I'm like, well, you don't do – he's a drummer, so he's kind of a performer. He's been a drummer for 3 years in a band. And I'm like, all right, really be sure because I got screwed last time. And he's like, no, because you know what, I want to earn my own money. He wants to buy a computer. I'm like,
How old is he?
He's 10. He's 10.
Why is he talking like he's 17?
Well, he just wants to earn his own money. I'm
Fascinates
like,
me.
and I'm like, I'm
ready to
excited.
get
What
out
drummer's
there,
been in a band for 3
Jimmy.
years?
He's 7. He's really good. I've instilled some values in him. Like, make your own way, son. Believe me, I'm not going to be here for you.
Right.
Look at my career.
You were like,
That
kid better carry me.
Exactly. Carry yourself.
You've been eating off that one Gain commercial for years.
So they, I had my commercial agent set up a meeting with a youth agency. We went down Red, and they gave him a copy. I read it with him. He was like, boom, charming, funny, got it.
You did?
Did the thing. They're like, great. We want to see him next week. We got the head of the agency will be here, and we think he's fantastic. We even want him for TV and film, and we'd love to send him out for everything. And I'm like, we'll see. I don't know. He's got that Asian, a Caucasian mix thing going, so he could be anything. Right. So we go in the next week, and I don't know if it was a bad day, tired, whatever. They give him the same copy. The person's there, and they come out, and they're like, could you work with him? His energy's low. And I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. What's the matter, buddy? You tired? And then he starts bawling. And it's like, Daddy, I don't know. I did what you told me to do last time. And I'm like, okay, it's okay. Listen, your energy's low. Maybe we just got to do some jumping jacks, get up. And because I'm thinking he still wants it. Now all of a sudden, then it's like, don't push me. I'm like, what?
Whoa.
Then it's like, I don't know if I want to do it. I don't know if I can do it. And then it was all of a sudden like, okay, now again, what do I do? I'm faced with it. I'm like, so I had to walk in the room and go, you know what? He's not feeling it today. We're going to talk about it. We'll be back. But I'm like, okay, so I've put in a word with my agent. Somebody's made phone calls. Now we're here. And I'm like, again, as a father, what do I do? Do I push him? And we talked about it. We said, well, maybe we'll just take a class.
Yeah.
Say, take a class.
He just threw away his shot.
Yeah, he did. He will
just
not be
like
Alexander Hamilton.
Yep.
He's young, scrappy, but not that hungry.
Not that hungry, it sounds like.
He's
Young,
full.
scrappy, but yeah.
He's had enough.
By the way, I want my son. My son is going right now. He's trying to figure out. He's 9, trying to figure out what he wants to be for Halloween.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to convince him to be Alexander Hamilton.
Oh,
because he loves Hamilton. He loves it.
He does.
But he's like, well, Dad, nobody will know who I am. And I go, perfect. So when they say, who are you? You go, I'm Alexander Hamilton. My name is Alexander Hamilton.
and then hold up a $10 bill.
Yeah.
And he doesn't
then
want to
it'll
do
get
it?
mugged.
He doesn't want to do it because he doesn't think it's a. He likes
Yeah.
to create his costume and get all.
Yeah.
into it.
Is he one of the kids that like creates like his costume? Doesn't just go buy it from a store?
Yeah. Did I just say that in a sentence, Joey?
I mean,
literally, what am I,
create-
Don Rickles all over again?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Listen when people talk to you.
I thought it was like create, like you can go to a store, buy a Mario costume,
No,
and
I
then
said
add a
he likes
Mario
to, he
hat.
likes to
He
create
likes
his
to
costume.
put it together.
Let me ask you this.
Scraps.
Does he like to create his costume? That's what just happened.
All right. Let me rephrase. Does he like
Yes.
to stitch together the fabric?
He likes to get it. He likes to do
Glued.
it all.
You do a little
Yes.
double stick.
Wow.
He won
Yeah.
a contest. He was. Is it Daredevil? No. Who's the
Daredevil's
Who's the red with the not Spider-Man, but it's like a red head.
That's
Deadpool.
Daredevil.
Deadpool.
He made a Deadpool costume and he won best costume and he made it all himself.
Really?
Jimmy, he shouldn't be familiar with that character.
Yes,
He's,
he should.
oh, Deadpool,
I don't think he
is
knows
a lot.
anything
No,
about Deadpool.
no, okay, good.
Except
Oh,
that
yeah.
it looked cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
right.
does look cool.
He does look
Yeah.
cool.
That was my whole thing.
I
Is
mean-
that I was like, I loved superheroes, and every Halloween I wanted to be like a different superhero. Like, but they never made costumes for it. Like, I wanted to be the Thing from the Fantastic Four, and then I'm like, it's either gluing a bunch of rocks to me or not being the Thing.
Now they make those big hands you can buy at Target.
I know.
And then
it's so fun.
build from there.
My favorite thing to do is to put one of those hands on and then reach around one of my best friends and go like, "This is the Hulk giving you a reach around."
Oh.
And just some part about it is very intimidating, but you don't want to back away
I would.
because he's very
No.
tender.
In fact, I wish you had those gloves here. I'd like to experience that.
Let's try and see what happens. Yeah, just drill a hole up. I'm going through the specs in my head to see how to figure that out.
And then it's that weird, uncomfortable party trick where everybody's like, "Go do it to him. Go do it to him." And I'm just giving a bunch of people reach arounds with a Hulk hand, and it just, I don't know. That's not how I like to spend
Yeah,
my
how
time
strong
at
the
parties.
Hulk
Really?
is.
You're the one that started it.
You
I
did-
started it.
Fairness.
You did.
I didn't think
yeah.
it was gonna take
You
off.
thought it was going to take a while.
Yeah.
You thought this was a one and done.
I thought this was a
Sure.
this was a good for my pals, not a this isn't a party trick. But alas, I got Hulk hands for Christmas this year with a note that says, "Can't wait to see you at the next family reunion."
Oh, my God. The family's involved, too.
Oh yeah, no, everybody loves
This thing took
bit.
off.
This bit,
This
bit,
really took off.
this bit has gotten more downloads than this podcast.
Oh,
Not
that's
after this
Not
week.
after this one. We're
Ooh.
getting
Not
the
after
Pardo
this week.
push.
Ooh, the Pardo,
Pardo
the
push.
Pardo
Gotta get the Pardo
push.
bump.
Let me
Yeah.
tell you about this. I am so impressed with everything you've done over your career, and
Oh, my
I
God.
feel like it's amazing to like being in the same management group. Like I've watched everybody like just explode. Over the years.
What am I
No,
doing
But we've all
different?
like, and I feel like I've been very fortunate to have a very like.
You have a great career.
I have a great career. I've gotten to do a lot of different things, and no, I mean I'm constantly evolving and changing for what I thought it was going to be. I don't know if you ever have that when you're like, oh, it's not what I came out here for. I mean, you didn't come out here to be a podcaster. It didn't
Well, I didn't come out here to
exist.
be a warm-up either. And then,
Right.
When Conan O'Brien asks you to do it, you don't say no. And
Yeah.
then, thank God, because it was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. You know,
Of
it's
course.
so. But yes, go ahead.
But no, having that experience, like I've seen you do the Pardo Patrol with the likes of Tom Hanks
Oh,
and
Martin
Short,
Short.
and Daryl Hall.
Daryl
like,
Hall.
which I'll be singing with him tonight.
And by the way, the Daryl, and I just very quickly, and
Yeah.
then I want to get back to your compliment.
Yes.
But the Daryl Hall one was so great because legally we could only show a little bit of me singing "Sarah Smile" with him, but we sang a lot of "Sarah Smile"
Oh.
together, and it was like,
awesome.
oh my God! And in my head, I'm going, well, these things are only 2.5 minutes long, and we just sang for 2.5 minutes. There's no way all that makes it.
Yeah.
And it was like, I kind of want just that to go out.
Did you have the footage? On,
I
you
think
didn't get
that's
it?
gone.
No.
But it was that
gotta-
was that. I mean, yeah, and doing improv with Tom Hanks and Martin
Yeah.
Short, like you said, and
Yeah. that Martin Short sketch was hilarious.
how great he just was a great man.
Oh,
Yeah.
And so was Tom Hanks. The Tom Hanks one, I'll bore you with this, and then I know we have to go, but
No.
Tom Hanks, we're okay.
15. We got
Yeah.
10,
Tom
15.
Hanks. So we never would ask anybody, like the A-listers, and I don't want to insult anybody.
No.
But like we figured, go in with the guys that are, Rob Corddry's now an A-lister, but at the time when we started the Pardo Patrols, he was the secondary guest.
Yeah.
And you knew him.
And I
Or
knew
you-
him.
Yeah.
So we would ask like your Ken Jungs or your Rob Corddry's, and Dana Carvey was kind enough to do one. He was probably the biggest name, and then Emma Stone did one. But we wouldn't. Whenever we'd ask like the lead guest, they would always be the publicist. No.
Yeah.
So when Tom Hanks was come on, I was like, God, how great would it be to do a Pardo Patrol with Tom Hanks? And they're like, there's no way we're asking Tom Hanks. There's no way. Tom's always gracious with his time, but we don't want to overstep our bounds. And let's just stick to the level of people that are willing to. All right, fine. So I'm out there doing warm up. And I walk off, and Aaron Blair, the guy who was the head of content and creative on the TeamCoco.com, he goes, Hanks wants to do a Pardo Patrol. I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, he got here and said, hey, I want to do one of those things with that guy when he barges in and talks to me. I'm like, are you? What? Now, he didn't know my name, which is fine.
That's great.
fine,
Still.
yeah.
But he saw it, and then I walk in, and I mean, a little behind the curtain, I would always introduce myself first so that they would understand I'm about to insult them. That was the premise.
Right.
And I said, I'm going to be nice, and then I progressively get, insulting, and then you tolerate it. Then you'll say one negative thing about me, and I storm out.
Yeah.
And Tom's like, this is the greatest. Let's do it. And then he goes, you want me to clear the room? I go, you do whatever you want. He goes, let's leave him in here. Let's get an audience. And so there, all of a sudden, I'm improvising with Tom Hanks, and it was the great. Like, it was just surreal.
Yeah.
And then the Martin Short one was like when he said he wanted to do it. It's like he's like, yeah, Jimmy, let's just do it. Let's just play. And what?
Yeah.
But isn't that what it's supposed to be? Like, that's
It's
where
supposed to
it
be
gets,
that.
It's supposed to be
Yeah.
about performers performing and playing. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure I want all the names of the people who wouldn't. But
There's the one famous one that I won't give the person's name.
Yeah.
There's only one that we shot. That when it was over, I went to them and I went, I will forego my pay. That will never see air.
Yeah.
If that airs, you're doing it just to F me.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh no, that was horrible.
we're not doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've had that happen.
But it's got to feel great to, after all these years continually doing it,
Yeah.
is there something that you like, what's the last thing maybe in your head that you're like, oh, wow, that really reinvigorated me or that surprised me about this business?
Well, I guess it was the Conan thing. I mean,
Yeah.
and the podcast. The fact that the podcast went from me doing it at my dining room table and nobody caring and having a decent fan base because iTunes like Scott Simpson at iTunes took a liking to us immediately, and so showcased us and we started getting this great following. And then going through that little phase where it's like, why are we doing a podcast? Nobody seems to care except for this little audience.
Yeah.
And then for the explosion to happen and then have this now be this almost second career, timed at the exact same time that Conan took off.
Right.
And he took a liking to me and being able to do remotes for him and having, to fill in for Andy Richter a couple of times. And
Andy's sidekick, that was hilarious
and,
as
I mean,
well.
they've
Well, I mean,
been-
yeah.
and TJ Markwalter, who is my personal appearance agent to this day, he's like, Jim, the second Conan realizes how funny you are, you're not going to be the warm-up. You're going to be part of the show. And it took a little while.
And
then, boom, it was like Conan was like, he kept on saying, man, you're great, thank you for doing this. And he would thank me every single day for it.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it was like, we got to start using this guy more.
Yeah.
And it was like, boy, oh boy, Mark Walter called it. Bruce.
Wow.
Didn't
Bruce.
see it coming at all. In fact, resisted it.
It's like, no, we should get you on another show.
Yeah, we got to move you over.
Ferguson needs a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to throw out candy and do a dance contest again?
Oh,
That's
God.
amazing because doing something like a warm up. I mean, I know a lot of comedians that I've looked up to, like Craig Baldo, if you know him.
I don't.
Does warm up for. I wish I could tell you what he did warm up for, but he does warm up now. And I see these warm up guys that do it for Liv and Maddie, our show where we would have live performances, and I would think I couldn't even begin. I guess our audiences are children, so
Right.
that's a different thing. Like doing it for adults, I
Definitely
could go up and
different,
do stand up for an adult audience,
Was
but
it
going up
Ezra?
and doing it for
Yeah.
Ezra Weiss was our stand up guy, and Ron Pearson.
Ron
Pearson.
Pearson, who's
Yeah.
he's the legendary one.
Yeah.
He juggles, he shoots
Juggles,
balls
yeah.
out of his face.
He's
Yep.
amazing. But I was because they asked me to do it once. They're like, "Hey, our warm up guy dropped out. You're not in this live taping. Would you want to be the warm up guy?" And I was like, "Hell no, I don't want to be the warm up."
And by the way, if they would have called me, I would have said no. I would never do it except for Conan because all I had to do was stand up at the beginning. I didn't have to ever do the dance contest
Yeah.
or
You
the
didn't have to
t-shirt
keep
gun.
everybody, yeah.
or
Yeah.
It's
any
a
of that.
Tonight Show. When I was at the Tonight Show, I remember when that started coming into play. We had a good guy, a couple good guys. Bob Perlow back in the day. He was a former stand-up too. I don't know if you remember.
I don't
Bob
know
Perlow,
Bob.
but Bob did it for a while. But then it started becoming Bob's got to get a bag of T-shirts and wristbands or whatever, and he's got to go out there and do that. And he kind of resisted it, but he had to do it and became the thing. And then I remember when he came back after the whole Conan business, which we can get into on another podcast all over, because I know we have not different. I think we have very similar views, but I have friends at the Tonight Show, so I have to.
I would imagine.
Yeah. We all have
My
friends.
views have kind of changed over the years. And
Yeah.
But
my
they-
views as being such a Conan fan growing up, and then having to go to the Tonight Show was the biggest thing, and then having to be stripped away was mortifying to me.
Yeah.
Imagine being him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
bet.
No,
but
I
to
know.
me though. But to me,
Oh,
Oh, no,
you know what, let me-
which is more important, Jimmy.
Let me text him.
Text
I
him
had
and
no
tell
idea that
it really
affected
affected
you
us.
that much.
No, I was so happy because I remember seeing you when you you were at the Tonight Show, and I was in the audience. And this is funny. This is kind of inside baseball stuff, but I was just a friend of mine was in town. They wanted to go see the Tonight Show with Conan. So I'm like, great. I got friends at NBC. Let's get in. And so they got, but we're in the line outside. And so they had a thing outside. And I'm like, I didn't want to be there because I had worked for the Tonight Show with Jay, and I thought it was kind of weird. But I was like, they were like, oh, you got to stay with us. I was hanging out with friends out of town. So they were outside in the audience or in the line. They were like, hey, could you fill out this card? What's your weirdest thing you ever eBayed? And I just filled it out. And then they go, hey, is it Kurt Long here? I'm like, oh, shit.
Oh,
that's
no,
me.
it's me.
It's me. And so I'm like, crap. And then so they grabbed me and two other people, and they're like, I eBayed Barry Manilow tickets because I thought for sure that my mom loved Barry Manilow. And I paid $500 for 2 tickets at the Bollywood Bowl for Barry Manilow. And then I was hinting around to my mom like, oh, Barry Manilow's coming to town. She goes, ugh. Can't stand him.
Oh, no.
And I was like, oh, crap.
Oh, hysterical.
I thought for sure she loved Barry Manilow. And my
Right.
brothers and I checked in with them. They're like, yeah, she had some albums and stuff. She definitely liked Barry Manilow. I'm like, oh, great. So then I had to eBay them, and I got nailed on it. I just got buried on that. I think I maybe lost $300 on that. So I put that in there, right? And so they came out, and then they put me in the audience, and on the edge, and they go through a rehearsal. I see you and whatever, and they put me on the edge, and I'm like, I tell my friend, I'm like, you just be me. You pretend to be me because I don't want to be on the show, and like I'm an actor.
But you could have looked like you were an actor in a sketch.
That's what I rationalized it.
Matt Walsh did it all the time.
Yeah,
Right in the old
Yeah.
days, right?
Yeah. So I said, all right, fine, and then and so they came out and they said, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this guy, this guy, this guy, and then you, Kurt. Okay, if we have time. I'm like, great. So they do a bunch of little bits. Then Conan comes out in the audience and does a whole bunch of things with people. I'm like, great. And I'm like, and they're like, all right. And then they were like, oh, I guess we got time for one more. I'm like, fuck, I thought I was gonna get away with it. And then Conan comes over, does the bit with me, and then Mr. T comes out and goes, I pay the fool, don't buy those tickets from Kurt. And and like whatever. And I was like, oh, it's great, fun. I get out of that taping. 10 minutes later, people over at the Tonight Show, Leno, who was on at 10:30 or whatever that time.
Right.
Hey, man, what the fuck? I'm like, what? It's like, hey, what, were you cheating on us with Conan?
What?
And I'm like, what are you talking about? And they were like, we just saw the tape feed because they're all NBC. So they
Right.
were over their studios taping. And they're like, we just saw the tape feed with you doing a bit with Conan. And I'm like, I was just in the audience. And they were literally like,
Upset at you?
upset.
Like, really upset?
It was one of the guys. They were busting balls mostly. But, right, thumbs down on that. I'm
Thumbs
like,
down.
I was
Yeah.
like, come on, guys. First of all, I wasn't in nearly enough. Like, as soon as they went to 10:30, like, Mikey Day and all these other people came in, and I'm like, I didn't get a call. Like, well, this business is whatever. It's and I got paid nothing for that.
Right.
And
I got
also,
to hang
like,
out with Jimmy Pardo for 5 minutes.
You're an actor. I mean,
Yeah.
this is
You're an
LA.
actor.
When you're out of work, you need to find more work.
Right. Yeah.
Like I'm fresh off a Disney show. It didn't take 3 weeks before I'm doing 2 episodes of a Nickelodeon show.
Yeah.
It's like you just got to do what you got to do.
You got to work.
work.
It's
Yeah.
not. No offense to anybody.
Yeah.
I think I have too much of that little East Coast, the loyalty or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I don't disagree. I've got that too.
Yeah.
But do you think like if you worked for Target and then like Target fires you, do you think you'd be like, I can't go and work for Walmart?
Well, you shouldn't anyway. But
Well,
I hear
yeah.
what you're saying.
nobody should
work
work
wherever
for
you need to
Walmart.
work. I'm making a joke. If you need to work at Walmart to pay your bills, do your thing.
Oh yeah, you're pulling a Kurt. He apologizes for everything.
I
he says in
apologize
this
for it. Yeah,
podcast.
Joey's trying to teach me because you guys are stand-ups and you say what's on your. I always admire that, both of you, but you especially. Not you as much because
He's
you're
too
young.
young. He's
too
he'll
young.
get
I
there.
don't mind
I'll
that.
get
But I
there.
always felt like
Thanks.
that because I remember when you started your podcast. And I had started a podcast around the same time with a friend of mine, and I bumped into you at an audition. And this was hilarious.
Really?
Yeah. I
What
ran into
audition
it.
we were
I
at?
forgot. It was some hosting thing.
It had to be right. Okay.
It was a hosting thing. And I ran into you, and I was like, hey, what's up with the podcast, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, hey, I just started a podcast myself. And you go, what, do you want to talk about how you got nothing going on?
Oh no!
And I was like, yeah, you're right. I guess I don't.
Did I really?
Yeah, but you were busting.
But for
you were,
fun.
You were fun. No.
God, I hope so.
But
No,
then
no,
he
of course
scrapped
you
the
were.
podcast. Then he stopped
I
doing
did.
it.
I stopped. No, then I booked a show on Fox News, and I had to quit. They made me quit.
Is that what we auditioned at? The Fox News?
No. Well, did you audition for that as well?
I did.
Maybe it was.
In retrospect, now how do you feel about having taken that gig? I mean, it's an acting gig.
Here's the deal. Again, an acting gig's an acting gig. It was originally, and Bruce will tell you, it was originally made for Fox.
Right.
Fox late night weekends. It was supposed to be, and I forgot who ended up getting that gig. But anyway, and I knew the producer Todd Yasui was doing late
It was
night.
Todd Frey who was over with.
He was with
Kilborn.
Leno before and Kilborn
Yeah.
after that, but he was head of Fox Late Night. So I was like, all right, I'll go in, and And then when they like passed on it, I was like, all right, well, fine. And they came in the room. I remember at callbacks, they like Joel Cernow, the producer of 24. That's why I did it. I was like, oh.
And we were on I remember we auditioned at 24.
At 24.
Yeah.
Really?
And I was thinking, I'm like, maybe I'll get in to a 24. That's basically, I was like, well, hey, if this doesn't work out,
Right.
and Joel Cernow likes me, I'll get in on 24, which I got one audition since then as a reporter. Thanks, guys. For like one line. Again, this business is like not like hey, they loved you. You were on a show with them for 17 episodes. They got me one audition after that. Yeah. So anyway, I remember being in the room and Joel Cernow comes out and goes, "Hey guys, just let you know, it's a comedy show, but we are gonna probably lean a little to the right. You know, it's kind of like an the antithesis to Daily Show or the competitive sort of thing. We're gonna get that voice that's not being spoken. You know, they're more liberal. We're gonna be a little bit more conservative, but you know, that's kind of the idea. And if that makes you uncomfortable, just go ahead and leave now. No hard feelings, whatever." And they were like, whoop. People moved out.
Couple guys bailed.
Yeah.
A couple people bailed, and I was sitting there going, well, who knows? Let's just be in the room and see, and I'll make that decision later. I'll get in the room. And I crushed it, obviously. I killed it in the room. I got the job. And then they were like, oh, Fox doesn't want it. Fine. I'm like, okay, done. And then they picked it up for Fox News, and they were like, same network money. And I'm like, I got a kid on the way.
Yeah.
I got, and I got a lot of hate mail. I got emails and nasty. I still got things on my IMDb page.
But
like,
you even had it was satirical. It was still a comedy.
It was still a comedy, and I still
Drew
tried.
was-
Yeah, Mim Drew was on. Yeah,
It's just I think that when you look at it from a satirical comedy standpoint, people can't still be like, it's not like you were genuinely pushing Bush. You were pushing it in more of a Colbert kind of way, right?
that was my intent. But I mean, I definitely know that the writers in the room were like, I would come out with jokes for everybody. Like me and my co-host Jen Robertson, we would definitely try to write jokes about everybody. And we wrote some joke about some Prius was in some high-speed chase, and we like, how the fuck is that possible?
Right.
And we wrote some. We had some funny bits, and they were like, "Oh, it's great. It doesn't quite fit what we're doing." And it was all like, anti-Obama, anti-whatever, and it was definitely. I felt a little not dirty. There wasn't anything blatant and nasty, but once I did the press tour at Fox News, that was.
Yeah.
At the Bill O'Reilly show and then the other shows and Fox and Friends. And I'm like, oh, wow, they're drinking a Kool-Aid here.
You're in bad company.
Yeah, I started to feel like, and I was trying to, have fun. And I'm a comedy show. And then I'm on some panel with a bunch of other people talking about, hey, a bridge collapsed in Minneapolis and a bunch of people died. Kurt Long, what do you think about that? I don't know.
I think I'm a clown.
I'm an idiot. Why am I here? Yeah, so it wasn't
taking
fun.
the river.
Did Red Eye. I did Red Eye, which was okay.
Greg, what's his name?
Greg, Gutfeld.
Not Gutfeld.
Gutfeld. Sorry, you got to go.
Yeah.
You got to go. Well, I want to. I feel like we're ending the show talking about me. I want to talk about you. You're a hero.
It's your show.
I'm so excited to have you here again, and I need
Too
to
late. We're
applaud
already
you.
talking about you.
We need to applaud you, for all you've done as a trendsetter in the podcast world.
Okay.
Thank you for doing the show, but also
Columbus
Thank you for having me. Seriously,
Yeah.
this was great fun.
and
I had a good time.
And I have to just put it out there so everybody knows, because Joey and I were just talking on our last podcast about how we, the youthful idealism. Like, you're over 40, Joey's 20, like that he gets angry and he sees Jimmy Fallon playing nice with Donald Trump on TV, and he gets upset and like, God damn it, like,
So I take a stand on social
and he
media.
tweets something
Get
out.
up a little bit.
I did.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm okay with it because it's people that I don't agree with. And wholeheartedly don't agree with. It's not like I don't agree with you like, oh, I'm a Redskins fan and you're a Cowboys fan. It's like I don't agree with you because your ideals of what this country should be are incredibly crooked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I like that comparison to the football teams, by the way, because it's a perfect
Yeah, right?
analogy of we're not disagreeing about outfits.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like go ahead.
That
There's
was what
real stuff
my
there.
whole thing was about. Is that I compared it to Hitler. I was like, if you had Hitler on your show, would you just futz with his mustache? Because that's all he did. He was like, can I ask you a question? Can I mess with your hair? And I was like, this guy could be the worst American mistake in decades.
history.
Yeah.
yes.
Why are you treating it with kid gloves? Like, why are you doing exactly what he would want to do?
Right.
You're on the fucking Tonight Show.
Yeah.
You
Right.
have one of the biggest outlets.
To young people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
housewives that might or might not be on the fence.
Yeah. And I go, well, if Jimmy Fallon likes him.
Look at
And-
him. He's just a guy. He's
Yeah.
there. He's laughing. He's letting him tussle his hair.
Yeah. He's just
And then
like
was it
us.
last night? Jimmy wears a hospital mask or for Hillary, which I get the joke, but most of America's gonna go see that all they
even
need
he's
is a still.
afraid.
Yeah.
I know.
It's a fucking.
Because,
It's hard.
people don't get sick.
The thing that I know, we were like just wrapping up the show and you got to get out of here. But the thing that happened yesterday with Hillary's IT guy is the biggest, most ridiculous thing in the world. I just don't know what it was. This guy posted on Reddit.com, like, I don't know, hard drives or like externals. One of those. It's just this website called Reddit. It's just a link sharing website. Posted a question: how do you delete to and from email addresses from an already wiped hard drive or an already deleted archive?
I didn't even hear about this.
Wow.
Posted from the username like Spedmaster or something like that. And then when you look at spedmaster@gmail.com is his work email that he used when he was hired by Hillary's IT department.
Oh God.
And so he like posted it, and I'm like, you look at this, and this is going to be a thing they talk about for weeks
of course,
on end.
yeah.
But when you think about it, like Donald Trump mocked a guy with cerebral palsy in front of hundreds of people, and that didn't have anything real to do with his supporters not backing him anymore.
I know.
But
every little misstep. Well, we could.
No, go.
No, that's it.
No, settle an argument. Is it cerebral palsy or cerebral palsy?
Oh, that's exactly. Is that the?
That's what we're
old
really
guard
stuck
young
on.
people thing.
That's all, no.
It's cerebral palsy.
Cerebral palsy.
That's what I would say.
But we were talking about this. The idea, like, I feel like the same way. Like, I feel like as I still have that angsty, like I'm so mad at like the injustices that go on. I feel like I'm still a little bit of that 20-something young guy, college guy. Like, fuck, how come this is still going on? And I'm still trying to fight something. But maybe because I'm older and I have kids and I have a mortgage and I have to pay the bills. It's you. I know we're gonna be. We're fine. We're fine.
I got a limey in the other room.
All right, we'll get out of here. So anyway, I was gonna say, what caused you do Smile Train? You've done amazing stuff for them. I want to applaud you for that because you've done $500,000 raised so far, over $500,000. $800,000 for Smile Train. So helping out getting surgeries for kids with cleft palates.
Yeah.
So I applaud you for that. That's fantastic. You did the trip to Mexico. How was that?
It's great.
Yeah.
I'll come back. We'll talk about it another time.
We'll talk about it another time.
Yeah.
I wanted to say thank you to you for doing all that.
Thank you for having me
if you have
on the
any
show.
thoughts
Yeah.
of what
Thanks
we
for
should
wanting to do our show, man.
Thank you for begging us to do our show. That was
Yeah.
very sweet of you. Like the way that you
I didn't let it drop. You gave me a lot of chances.
You did.
To,
I did.
to
I
get out of
know.
it, and I didn't.
I gave you the dog thing. I gave
We were
you
waiting.
the
We were
allergy.
waiting
I was
for
like,
last
he's not
night
gonna.
to find out if you had jury duty. I was waiting. I was
Sure,
patiently waiting.
jury
by
duty.
the
I had a whole quiz here to talk to you about
We'll do it next time.
the top 10 music.
We had to tell Doug Stanhope that we'll do it some other time.
Yeah.
Is that true?
No,
of
he
course
doesn't want
not.
to do our show.
He doesn't want to do
No.
our show. No, he's smart. Whoa, wait a
leaving.
second. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Jimmy Pardo.
Yay.
Listen to Never Not Funny. You're going to get a huge bump from
know
the
it.
Disney
Oh, yeah.
group.
The kids are gonna.
The kids are going to be like, tuning in to Never Not Funny. Kids, grab your mom and dad's credit cards. Go to Pardcast.com. You can sign up for season 19. You can sign up for all the seasons.
Yeah, Players Club. Yeah.
19 seasons. God, I only hope we do half of that.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I really only hope we do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of
This
work.
is our
Seems like a
finale.
lot of
This
work
is
for
it.
us. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening. Jimmy Pardo, thank you for being here.
honor.
Joey Bragg, thank you for being
Thank you for being here, Kurt Long.
Thank you so much. And Bruce Smith,
Yeah.
thank you so much for having us in your office. Till next time, we'll see you.
Bye. 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 Bye.